Yo, what is going on, guys? And welcome back to 365 Analytics. And it's been a little bit, but today the NBA playoffs officially start tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern on Saturday. The NBA play-in concludes tonight with the 8 seeds being decided in two different games in the East and the West. So we are here, obviously, with our annual NBA playoff predictions, predicting every single round, every single game, and officially on to the NBA champion for this season. It should be a fun NBA playoffs this year. A very, very, very entertaining set of series. So it should be fun to predict these. I will most likely get all of this wrong, and let's see how bad I embarrass myself this time. It's been a little bit since I've been on the channel. March Madness is officially concluded. It concluded a little bit earlier this month. The Michigan Wolverines are your champions. I tried to get a Final Four preview. I posted in my community tab when it initially happened. I posted on my community tab. I had a Final Four preview recorded. I was really happy with it. It got copyright claimed, so that didn't eventually, I couldn't put that up. But I picked the Final Four. I nailed the Final Four. UConn, Michigan. Michigan ended up winning last weekend. It was a very fun weekend. It was Masters weekend. Rory McIlroy is your back-to-back champion. And yeah, it was a very, very fun weekend of golf. March Madness is in the books, and you know what that means? The NBA playoffs. And after that, we have the the NFL draft next week. We will have a mock draft out, a 3 round final mock draft out on the channel next week. 3 rounds, about 100 picks, and it will be a long form video. It'll be kind of a sit down, grab a snack, watch the entire mock draft kind of thing. And yeah, so before I start, I know I've been yapping for 2 minutes now. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please like, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications for more content exactly like this. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So, we'll start off with the 1 versus 8 in the West. We'll just go top to bottom. We'll start off Thunder versus the Suns or the Warriors. First of all, I'd like to go on record and say that I believe the Warriors are going to win the game tonight. I believe it's going to be another nuclear Stephen Curry game. He scored 35 against Los Angeles on Wednesday night. The Suns, they're coming off a loss to the Portland Trailblazers. Portland ended up getting the 7th seed. Denny Avdija absolutely went off, but yeah. Dylan Brooks versus Draymond Green should be a very, very scrappy matchup. Either way, I don't really care who wins the game. I think if the Warriors win, I'd be a little bit more apt to pick the 8 seed to win one more game because I believe that Stephen Curry is good enough to shoot a team out of a game or shoot good enough to maybe steal a game in this series. But either way, I'm picking the Oklahoma City Thunder in 5 games, maybe four. If it's Phoenix, I honestly might change it to a sweep. If it's Golden State, I think Stephen Curry will be good enough to get him a game. But I'm taking Oklahoma City in 5 games pretty easily. The defending champions move on. Next up, it is LeBron and friends. No Luka, no Reeves versus Kevin Durant and the Houston Rockets. Turning back the time, man. Turning back the time. LeBron versus Durant. This time, Lakers versus Rockets. These two have played countless times. They've played in NBA Finals. Thunder versus Heat. They've played Warriors versus Cavs Finals. But this time, they are playing on a 4 versus 5 stage where LeBron has to turn in 2018. LeBron at 41 years old to probably end up winning this series. No Luka Doncic, no Austin Reeves, likely for the entire first round. We'll see if they play later in the series. I think the key for the Lakers is going back to Houston 1-1. You have to tie the series 1-1. Maybe one of those guys can get back later in the series. I'd say especially Reeves, but I mean the Rockets are just deeper. They're a deeper team with the Lakers without Luka and Reeves. It's Luke Kennard. It's guys like Bronny. It's DeAndre Ayton. It's those type of guys that are gonna have to step up. But for the Rockets, they have depth. They have Alperen Sengun, Jabari Smith, Tari Eason. They have guys like that. They have good players, and I just think they have more depth. I think they're deeper. I'm gonna take the Houston Rockets in 6 games, and overall, I'd say hopefully that's not it for LeBron James. I think he's gonna play one more year, but we'll see what evidently ends up happening. The GOAT of basketball, man, sad, but I hope that's not it for LeBron. I really don't. I don't think it will be, but I hope it's not. Next up, we have a very, very, very good series. Denver, Minnesota, Jokic versus Ant. Um, Minnesota's been here before, obviously. Both of these teams have been here before. They've played in playoff series before under these regimes. The last time I believe these two played in the playoff series, I believe Minnesota won the series in 7 games. It was a very good series, very good series. I think Denver's lack of defense could hurt them in this series, but I don't know. This is tough because Jokic versus Ant, obviously Nikola Jokic, just a star, just a star. Probably the best player in the league in my eyes. Anthony Edwards as well, also a star. Minnesota can just turn it up during playoff time. I believe that this might be the best series of the entire first round. I think 6 or 7 game series here. Mm, I'm gonna take Denver. Denver in 6. I could see Denver in 7. I just like having that game 7 at home be huge for Denver. Obviously, everybody talks about the altitude come playoff time. But Anthony Edwards is a star. Rudy Gobert is a really, really good defender. Naz Reid, obviously awesome in his own right. They have a very good squad, but I, I trust Jokic. I trust Jokic. I believe that the depth they have, Aaron Gordon, Cameron Johnson, Christian Brown, they have players all around. I think they're deeper than Minnesota, and I think they're going to be able to get it done. Next up, we have San Antonio versus Portland. Portland Trailblazers welcome back to the playoffs. Damian Lillard didn't even play the entire season, and Portland still did it. Denny Avdia kind of had a breakout type season. Went off, especially in the playing game versus the Suns. I think it was 41 points he had, but an all-star season for Denny Avdia. They have some decent role players across the board. I mean, you have Scoot Henderson, you have Tamani Kamara, you have Donovan Clingan. Like they have guys, they have good players. But Wemby, one of the best players in the league. Says we're setting up for a Jokic versus Wemby series here. 4 or 5 games. Is Danny Avdia in the? I don't think so. I'm gonna take the Spurs in the sweep. Portland. It was a great season. Obviously, you had the Chauncey Billups scandal, gambling scandal at the very beginning of the season. Tiago Splitter comes in, who is a former San Antonio Spur, by the way. Comes in as interim head coach. Does a very, very good job bringing them to the playoffs. I'm taking San Antonio in a sweep to get to the conference semifinals. Then we'll go down to the East. Pistons versus Orlando or Charlotte. Charlotte's been very fun this year, man. They've been very fun. They have shooters across the board. You have guys like LaMelo, guys like Con Knipple. They have shooters. They're a very fun team. And a little bit more spice to it is that the Pistons and the Hornets have butted heads a little bit this season. We've seen instances where they've gotten to fights during the season. They've had technical fouls. They've had like games I saw at the end a few weeks back where they didn't shake hands. So I really, really, really hope Charlotte goes into Orlando tonight and gets that game done because it's set up for a pretty intriguing 1 versus 8 matchup. Let me set the record straight here. I'm picking the Pistons to win the series. Cade Cunningham's an absolute star. Jalen Duren's had a really, really good year. I'm picking the Pistons to win the series. If it's Charlotte, I think Charlotte could send them to 6. I really do. I think Charlotte could push Detroit to 6. Not necessarily how they shot versus um who did they just play? Miami. Not necessarily how they shot versus Miami, what I liked, because they didn't shoot very well. Colin Knipple wasn't that good. LaMelo Ball didn't really shoot that well from the field. But Kobe White's had a big, big shot at the end. They're going to have to shoot better versus Detroit to bring it to 6 games if they want to, but I'm picking Charlotte to win tonight. And if it is Charlotte, which I think it's going to be, I'm taking Detroit in 6. If it's Orlando, I'll take Detroit in 4. I don't believe Orlando. Paulo Banchero has kind of disappeared in big moments. It's only a matter of time before Jamal Mosley's fired. And yeah, give me the Detroit Pistons in 6 games over the Charlotte Hornets if they inevitably do get in tonight, but we'll see. Now we have the 4 versus 5 game in the East. Cavaliers versus Raptors. Um, the story of the Cavs obviously trading for James Harden mid-season, setting up the duo of James Harden and Donovan Mitchell. Evan Mobley still obviously a very good player. Jared Allen's a very good center for Toronto. I mean, they've had guys. Scotty Barnes had a really good season. Brandon Ingram has kind of molded back into his early Pelican self. suffering some injuries in the past few years, but he's back. Very, very good player for Toronto. They're a good team. I just think Cleveland home court advantage in the series. Playoff Harden is not necessarily the guy you want to have. History says in the playoffs, but I'm taking the Cavs in the gentleman's sweep. I think they're the better team than Toronto. Toronto, it was an outstanding year. Do not take anything away from the Toronto Raptors this year, but I think Cleveland gets done in 5 games. Donovan Mitchell usually turns up his game a little bit come playoff time. They want to avenge what happened last year against the Pacers and try to make a decently deep playoff run. And yeah, I'm taking the Cavs in 5 games. This should be a little bit of a spicy series. Knicks versus Hawks. If you remember right, these two teams played in 2021. And now it's two totally different teams. Totally different teams. I mean, you have the Knicks led by Jalen Brunson. Been here before. Been here before. MSG is turned up during the playoffs. The celebrities courtside. I mean, Tracy Morgan, Ben Stiller. The celebrities that are courtside for Knicks playoff games are absolutely electric. But the Hawks, they've emerged a little bit in this season, especially in the past couple months or so. Jalen Johnson is playing out of his mind. Dyson Daniels, one of the elite defenders in basketball. Okongwu, very, very good. They got a team, man, especially after trading Trae Young midseason. They ended up getting into the playoffs without even needing a play-in spot. But I trust Jalen Brunson to make some huge shots come playoff time. I think that Atlanta will be able to do enough to be competitive in the series and avoid the gentleman's sweep, but I'm taking the Knicks in 6 games. I expect Brunson to be able to do his thing. I expect Mikal Bridges to be able to do his thing. I expect Cat to be able to do his thing, and I expect Mike Brown and the Knicks to get to the second round to set up a pretty good series here, no matter who comes out. And the last first round series, a good old rivalry, one of the better rivalries in basketball, even though the Celtics win most of the time. It's Boston, it's Philadelphia, it's Celtics versus 76ers. Um Embiid's health is a question mark in this series. I'm taking the Celtics. Obviously, the story about them has been how well Jaylen Brown's played this season. MVP candidate this season has been absolutely a dog. Jason Tatum, the long, long recovery from the Achilles tear against the Knicks in the playoffs last year, rejoining the team midseason when a lot of people thought he wouldn't even play this season. In a gap year for the Boston Celtics, the job Joe Mazzulla has done has been absolutely insane. And I'm taking the Celtics in the series. Joel Embiid, how deep into the series does he play? He had the appendectomy at the end of the season, absolutely unlucky for the 76ers. But I feel like these teams know each other enough, and the 76ers have enough quality players like Maxey, Paul George, Edgecombe had a good game in the play-in against Orlando. I'm taking Boston in 5, but if Embiid plays by game 3, 4, so to speak, I might hesitate to pick that series to go to 6 games. I think that Philadelphia can be competitive enough. Joel Embiid, when he's healthy, he's obviously one of the best players in the world. So yeah, give me the Celtics. So all right, and we go back up in the Western Conference as we have the storyline here will be Kevin Durant versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. You have the new Oklahoma City Thunder regime with the young guns they have SGA, Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, the other Jalen Williams, Alex Caruso, Isaiah Joe, all the guys that they have on their roster. In the new regime, defending champions versus Kevin Durant, who obviously everybody know what happened. Kevin Durant in 2016 joining the Golden State Warriors after blowing a 3-1 lead to them in the Western Conference Finals. This will be a spicy series, especially game one. Game one is gonna be must see TV in this series. Every single time Durant has the ball, he's gonna get booed. But it's the Thunder, man. It's the Thunder. Unstoppable. Unstoppable. The depth they have across the board. Jared McCain, midseason pickup from Philadelphia, has been a good piece for them off the bench. Really, really solid shooter. I'm taking OKC in 5. I expect OKC to roll no matter who comes out of this Lakers versus Rockets series. Give me the Thunder. All right. Next up, this series is going to be absolute cinema. Might be the best series of the entire playoffs right here. I'm not even kidding. Nikola Jokic Victor Wembanyama. If the Nuggets sell that series versus the Minnesota Timberwolves and don't set up the series, if either of these teams sell and we don't get a Nuggets versus Spurs playoff series, I'm gonna be so heated. But this series is gonna be cinema. I'll tell you right now, I don't even know who I'm picking to win this. Speaking right now, I'm picking to go 7 games. Nikola Jokic, Victor Wembanyama. Obviously, everybody sees Mitch Johnson, the job he's done this season, Coach of the Year candidate. Probably not going to be out of Joe Mazzulla, but a Coach of the Year candidate nonetheless. The job he's done with San Antonio, the 1 year turnaround, Victor Wembanyama playing like a Defensive Player of the Year, MVP candidate. Mm, Jokic, the playoff experience he has, he's won a championship. Jamal Murray has came up big in playoff games. The depth that Denver has, like Christian Brown, De'Aaron Fox playing with the Kings for years, not winning many games, finally getting the opportunity to shine come playoff time deep. Mm, I'm taking Denver in 7. I trust Jokic more. I think the Spurs are exceptional. I think the Spurs are a championship contender. They're 1 year ahead. Next year, we're going to be talking about them like a perennial championship contender, obviously. Victor Wembanyama is going to be an all-time great. I have no doubts about saying that. It's that's going to be such a good series. It's such a good series. Like this series can truly go either way, and it's going to set up for a good Western Conference Finals no matter what happens. So yeah. All right, we go to the Eastern Conference semifinals. Detroit, Cleveland. I'll tell you right now, I also think this one's going deep, 6 or 7 games. Um, Detroit's obviously, again, similar to San Antonio, had a little bit of a turnaround year. Cade Cunningham, the job he's done, Jalen Duren, the role players that they have, JB Bickerstaff, the job that he's done since leaving Cleveland. He has a little bit of a revenge series against Cleveland here. Um, I think the key for this series is how well does James Harden play? That's really what's going on in my mind right now. How well does James Harden play in this series? I'm gonna take Detroit in 6 games. I think this could go 7. I think Cleveland could win the series. If James Harden really plays that well, I think Donovan Mitchell will do his thing. I think Evan Mobley will play defense and do his thing. I think Cade Cunningham will do a little bit too much. I'm taking Detroit in 6 games. I think Harden really needs to play really, really well for Cleveland to win the series, though. So we'll see what evidently ends up happening. All right, we get back to we go back to a little bit of a full circle moment for Jason Tatum, especially more than anybody. Jason Tatum tearing the Achilles in the Eastern Conference semifinals versus the Knicks last season. The Celtics evidently go on to lose the series. The Knicks go to the conference finals to lose to Indiana. Let's not get it twisted. Boston was losing that series anyway to New York. You have 2 games in Boston, 2 games in New York. You have TD Garden, you have MSG. This will be cinema. This will be another very, very good series. These 3 series, especially, I am pumped for. These are some very, very good series. You have the good old rivalry, New York versus Boston, celebrities courtside at every single game. Mm, I'm gonna take Jason Tatum. He's played enough games at the back end of the regular season. Jaylen Brown, the job he's done this season. They want revenge for what happened last season. The Knicks have had so many good seasons stacked up in a row now. The depth they've got and the trades they've made for guys like Mikal Bridges and Karl Anthony Towns. Boston in 7. 1 versus 2. You have Detroit versus Boston in the Eastern Conference semifinals. A team maybe a little bit ahead versus a team that was supposedly in a gap year, has seen Jason Tatum return, has seen guys like Neemias Queta emerge, guys like Sam Hauser shoot very well, Peyton Pritchard still there, Derek White at the trade deadline a few years ago, who started in San Antonio, was considered a role player and turned into an all-star. It's great, man. It's great. And then we go to this series right here. Denver, Oklahoma City. These 2 teams played in the playoffs last season, went 7 games. Denver gave Oklahoma City the toughest test of any opponent that they saw in the playoffs last year. We've seen these teams also have some little chippy history too, especially this season. Luke Dort and Nikola Jokic had a little bit of a fight during the regular season, if I remember right. Um, I think Jokic had a little bit of a bad ankle. Lu Dort maybe made a little bit of a dirty play on it. The depth that the Denver Nuggets have, man, the depth that both these teams have, truly. Defending champs versus best player in the world. Probably the two best players in the world are playing in this series right now with SGA and Nikola Jokic. You can argue Giannis. You can argue Victor Wembanyama if you really feel that way already. But these are probably the two best players in the world we're seeing play right now. Two MVPs. Jokic, a three-time MVP, possibly four-time. You can say the same about SGA. SGA, a one-time MVP, possibly a two-time. I'm taking Denver in 7 games. I think they get revenge. These two teams are going to play very, very close every single time they step on the floor. But I think we're looking at a very, very good Western Conference Finals there. I'm going to take the Denver Nuggets, the 3 seed to represent the Western Conference in the NBA Finals. And in the Eastern Conference Finals, you kind of go back a little bit of ways, a little bit of an old school series here. Detroit, Boston, not your most heated rivalry, but two very good teams. Stars on both sides. You have Cade Cunningham, you have Jalen Duren, Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown doing their thing. Detroit, stellar season. Stellar season. When I saw Jason Tatum return for the Boston Celtics, man, I was like, watch out. Watch out, man. This team won a championship 2 years ago in 5 games against Dallas. When you see Jason Tatum determined to return in a gap year, Joe Mazzulla, the job that he's done, I'm taking the Celtics in 6, and that sets up. I might even pick the same matchup last year. I don't even know. I might have to go revisit the video to see, but Nuggets, Celtics, NBA Finals. Two champions previously in the past few seasons. Denver won in 2023, Boston won in 2024. This will be a very, very good series. But I picked them before the season started. I don't know if I'm on record on this channel necessarily saying it, but I picked them before the season started. In my eyes, they have the best player in the world. I'm taking the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets in 6 games are your NBA champions. Make sure I didn't block it by the face cam. I probably did. I probably blocked it by the face cam, but in 6 games, the Denver Nuggets take down the Boston Celtics, and they evidently win the NBA Finals for the second time in the last 4 seasons, and Jokic wins his second NBA championship and his second ring. We'll do the tiebreaker here. How many points will be scored in game one? I'll say 113 to 110, so that would be 223. So that'll do it. The play-in concludes tonight. The playoffs start tomorrow, 1 o'clock. Raptors, Cavaliers. My official NBA Finals, NBA playoff bracket. Denver, Boston. Denver wins the 6 games. I believe I actually picked the matchup last year too, but this is the year that we see it. The Denver Nuggets will be your 2025-2026 NBA season champions. And that'll do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy today's video, please like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more content very, very similar and exactly like this. Next week on the channel, we will have an NFL 3-round mock draft long form video, sit back and relax type of video. It's draft week next week, one of my favorite weeks of the year. The Cincinnati Bengals better not mess it up. We'll have a lot to say about them next week, but I actually didn't do a mock draft on the channel this week, this year. This is my first mock draft doing on the channel next week this year, so yeah, that'll be interesting. But I'll see y'all next week. Enjoy the NBA playoff games this weekend, and I'll see y'all later.